Anthony Elumelu, Acting Director, Private Sector Investment, Economic Community of West African States ECOWAS, says the bloc is now an emerging preferred tourist destination. Elumelu stated this in an interview with newsmen after a strategic meeting between ECOWAS officials and private sector tourism stakeholders in Abuja. The high-level dialogue culminated in the signing of agreements to implement a comprehensive regional tourism framework and issuing of a communique to that effect.
It is very important for you to know that from the ECOWAS perspective, what I mean, Commission, our job is to create an enabling environment for member states to churn out legal instruments, adopt them, and also implement. We do not implement. It's left for member states to implement. The beauty of it, again, is it's important for you to note that the enabling text, even the flagship protocol, which also creates room for tourism to thrive, the protocol of free movement of persons, which also gives you the right to stay, enter, stay, and establish businesses. You will recall that we have signed into the continental free trade. Tourism is a key element in terms of that because it's one of the highest earners, like you mentioned. Most of our countries are dependent on tourism. Even it's a high earner in terms of Nigerian economy. So how can we boost it? How can we create? And like you also ask, ECOWAS is partial severance of sovereignty into a collective basket. There are assignments for ECOWAS Commission. There are also assignments for member states. They need to take ownership. They need to sensitize, advocacy, capacity building, and also funding by the government and private sector. On the side of the government, tax moratorium, power supply. These are all the things that we're here to talk about. And I think we've achieved a level of consensus. We have an association now that will drive this, and they also key into what they call the ECOWAS Business Council. So with this, I think we are moving forward. I think, like I just mentioned, if we implement the text that we have signed, and with this association now, there will be coherence, and we let us be positive. You had the Nigerian government, what he said yesterday, represent the DG. We need to take action. We need to ensure that we implement text that we have signed. But another thing again is we need to create enabling environment for tourism to thrive. There are things that are condition precedent for a private sector to move. Tourism is not an internal matter. You need global attraction and to have ECOWAS as a destination country. So these are the things, but I'm positive that in the next few years, we'll be talking about how we can compete at the global level.
Also speaking, ECOWAS Program Officer for Tourism said that tourism is key for it to thrive, stressing that people move a lot when they feel safe and secure.
First of all, my name is Stella Christian Drabo. I am the Program Officer for Tourism at ECOWAS Commission. And you are raising a very important point. Security is key for tourism to thrive. People are moving and moving a lot when they feel safe and secure. And our West African region, as many parts of the world, is experiencing here and there some security issues. But what is very important is the way we communicate about that. If we go through the report that has been published by the World Tourism Organization about tourism and security in all over the world, they made a very, very detailed research. Africa, and particularly West Africa, is less dangerous than any other place in the world. We are safe to move and travel. We are visiting each other. So let us emphasize on that, the way we handle security, the way we handle crisis, and focus on the way we approach our tourism development. To make it work better, for sure, we have to continue improving on the security level, but as well in terms of infrastructures, having good roads to allow me to drive my family car from Lagos to Cotonou, from Cotonou to Niamey, from Niamey to Ouagadougou, from Ouagadougou to Cote d'Ivoire, from Cote d'Ivoire to Monrovia, Liberia. And this is how we can now enjoy more and more our own region. And today is something we are very proud of as ECOWAS Commission, because we can now say ECOWAS destination as a tourist destination is created, because we have the private sector, we have the regional body, ECOWAS, and we have our private sector, who is the one operating on ground. We have it in place. So now the train is complete. We will now double and even triple the horsepower to go further and further.
President, Federation of Tourism Associations of Nigeria, Nkeruomono, also expressed belief that tourism is emerging as a tourist haven, with the tourism private sector agreeing to work with the Commission to implement regional tourism policies.
Yeah, the major takeout from this meeting is the agreement between the private sector and ECOWAS, the confederation, to work together, first of all, to implement tourism policies across the West African nations, and also to establish certain kind of standards within our establishments in terms of tourism operations. But it's also interesting to note that the West African Confederation, what we call COPITOR, had its own problems in the past. But in this meeting, through the intervention of ECOWAS, we've been able to establish a proper framework for its operations. And from now going forward, there will be the private sector working together with ECOWAS to make sure that arrivals into West Africa, tourism establishments, the business of tourism, investments are enhanced. Yeah, the beauty of all of this is seamless travels across West Africa. And what that does is that when the bottlenecks that are in between it are removed, when the private sectors and the public sectors in member states are able to work together, it's possible for us to have free trade, free tourism movement. People will be able to have multi-destinations in terms of tourism. That means you can visit both Lagos and Accra at the same time without any hindrance. That's what this is all about.